Hi everyone. So in this video we'll go briefly over tutorial number 10. So you can click on this file and print it, and then we will go over that. And also this is the file that we will be working with. It is health tutorial 10. So in this tutorial we will be learning, I will highlight some of the important points, and I will start from point number 8. So creating queries or form queries and the rest actually they are all in your book. So but I want to highlight this because there are some benefits that I'm gonna mention that you can benefit for your own project, for the software project that you are developing for the Morseful or for the Sooners Community Center. So let's start by, so I already printed this, so I'm gonna follow those here, and I would recommend that you print it and then you go from there. So this is the file that we just downloaded from Canvas. So we just downloaded it from here. Now we can just go ahead and work on create that form queries. So we'll go step by step. So it says create. We need to create form queries, so we can go to create and blank form, and then we can go to design view. Make sure that we are selecting this form from the form selector here, and then I will go to design, or as the instruction says that you can just go to properties from here. That way you show the properties, or you can go to design and show the properties from here. So two different ways. So now I'll just go all, and then I can just give it a name. Let's say here, and then I will go to format. So it's asking me to go to format, and then caption. Under caption, they want me to write. So they want me to write queries. All right. So that way it shows here, instead of form 1, it shows queries. All right. So now, and then I will click on record selector. So the record selector. So I'm just formatting. So before that, let me save it first. So I will call it query. Form, since it's a form. Form queries. So then I'll save it. Now I already give it the caption. The caption, I need to call it queries instead. So I went one step ahead. But now it's asking me to go, while we are under format, to go and find where it says record selector. So what I mean by record selector is this guy. So this is the record selector. I need to get rid of it because I want to create a nice unbound form. This form can be any form that you want to create, whether it is the patient, the assessment, or it can be even the navigation form. And this is how you can design it. So now it is asking me to go to record selector. So I want to get rid of that. I say no, record selector. So now you will see that I don't have it anymore, which is great. So now I will go on and scroll. So it's asking me to scroll down all the way, and then that way we can find where it says navigation button. So what we mean by navigation button is those guys here. We want to get rid of those. We want to make sure that we have better stuff. So for you in the patient form, I would recommend that creating buttons that are for, let's say, going forward, going backward, and then opening a new form and so on. So it will be better to use buttons rather than this navigation form. That's not really good design. So I will go ahead and get rid of this navigation buttons. I will say no. So now you will see that we don't have them anymore, which is great. Now it's asking us to get rid of the close button. So if you see here, the close button is actually, let's see. So the close button is actually here. So now I can close this one and it will close, but instead I want to get rid of this one, this close button. To do that, I will go to design view, and where it says close button, so close button, I will say no. Alright, so now when I activate, I actually it is dimmed, so that means it's not active anymore. So now let's go to number 9. So I'll go to step number 9, which asking me to add a list. So I will add the list by going to design tab and then to list box. So I'll just drag it and drop it here. Alright, and then I cancel this guy. So it's asking me kind of to drag this guy a little bit here. That way I can put a nice name or caption for this label. So this label, they want me to call it available queries. Alright, so now, oops, where did it go? So anyhow, I will just type it here. Available queries. Alright, so now I got that one done. Now it's asking me to go ahead and select the list box. So I'm selected the list box and then go to name. So I'll go all and then name, and I will give it a nice name, LST, which is the short for list. List, so list query list. List query list, so that's kind of the name for this list box. And then I will go on to number 10. So now using SQL statement, what I will do for number 10 is I will just copy this guy. I will copy this code. So here 5 is basically the refers to a certain object. In this case it is, I believe, queries. And so I'm using this SQL statement code. So I'll copy it, and then so I will go, it's asking me to go to right click the list box and go to property and then the data tab, and then where it says row source. So that's what I'm interested in, and I can click on this. Actually they want me to go to zoom, so I'll click on zoom, and then in zoom I can right click and paste, or I will just control V. So I will just copy and paste this guy, this code. Now what this code does is actually it brings the names of the queries here. So now you see the list of the queries here. So that's what that code does. So now let's see, let's move on and go to number 11. So number 11, it says they want us to add a preview button to the form. Preview button, so I need to create a button here, so I'll just drag it. I'll go to design and then control, so I can just drag it here. Alright, and then cancel. So it says now I want to go to format, and then where it says caption, they want me to type preview. Alright, and then they want me to go and give it kind of a nice, so now preview by itself it's not good. Let's give it an icon that kind of shows what we really mean by a preview. You have to add some spices to it and makes it more professional. So here it wants us to go to builder and then look for preview icon. So preview icon, there it is. See, it looks like search icon, looks good. And then they want us also to change the background color or the back color. So the back color would be under this guy, and then I'll just click on the builder, and then it says they want us to select orange accent 2 and then lighter 60%. So it is this guy. And also they want us to go to picture caption arrangement, and they want us to select the bottom. That way we can show the caption in the bottom, and then on the top would be the preview image. Now they want us to create another button, and this button is for so we need to create another button, and it's for display. So they want us to copy this guy, and then so by highlighting it and Control C and then Control V, and then I can just drag it and put it somewhere here next to it. So now I can just change the caption to display, and then the only thing I need to change other than that is the picture. So the picture will be under here, and they want me to select for this one Microsoft Access query. So Microsoft Access query, here it is. Perfect. So now we are good up until 12. Now until 12, actually up until, yes, we're done with until 12. Now let's see. Now we can go ahead and start with number 13. So number 13, they want us to work with the list box. So I'll select the list box and then go to Alt Tab, and then in the name I already have the name. Perfect. And then the back color, they want us to select white background 1. White background 1. So white background 1. Alright, white background 1. So it is selected. Now they want us to select the detail section bar, and they want us also to make it look nicer, a little bit different. So they want us to select white background 1, dark 5%. So it is this guy. It's a little bit darker. Beautiful. And then I will go on and go to 14. So number 14, they want us to create macros for onload. So let's do that. So for onload, meaning that I need to select the form, and then they want us to go to the event tab in the property sheet, and then on click they want us to go to builder and then macro builder. This is basically how we are going to create macros for your buttons, for example. And then can go ahead and select where it says add new action. But before I do that, they want us to click on show all actions. So show all actions, and then it says I can go and say send keys, and then here I need to put the curly bracket and then type down, and that's it. That's save this guy. You can just right click and save and close it. So that's for the onload. So now let's move on to the next step. The next step is asking us, so the next step, so we did the macro onload. Now we will go to the macros for preview lists, preview, list box, and display box. So now we will just create macros for those guys following these steps in 15. So select preview, and then in preview I will go to event, and so on click, and then I'll click on this guy, macro builder, and then here it says, now you can just go ahead and say open query. Trying to find open query. Let's see, what is open query? Here we go. Now this is a little bit of a trick. You might, if you are reading in the book, it doesn't explain it really well, but if you misunderstood it, you can follow it here. So where it says open name or query name, just type equal sign. As soon as you type the equal sign, this magic trick or magic stick shows up. But see here, when I don't have that equal sign, it doesn't show. As soon as I put it, the magic stick shows up. So So I will click on this magic stick, and which is basically referring to the what we call it the builder. So now they want us to double click on LST query list and then click OK. Alright, so for this guy, for the first button, they want us to select print preview. So for it says what a view, for the view they want us to select print preview. So you will use this one for one of your or a couple of your what we call them, the reports. So in the reports you will need to select print preview. Alright, so now we'll save this guy and then close it. Now they want us to do the same thing for display. So on click, macro builder, and then open query. So open query, the only thing. So and I will do the equal sign, magic stick, and then double click on this guy, click OK. Now they want us to keep data sheet for this one. So I'll close this one, just make sure that I save it and close it. Now they want us to do that text box or the list box. So the list box is under double click. So when we double click instead of on click. So double click and then the builder and then macro builder. Let's do the same thing. So open query, same thing, equal and magic stick, and there we go. Save this guy and close. So now we can go ahead and activate. So one thing that if I double click, it opens in data sheet. If I preview, it opens in print preview. And then if I say display, it opens in data sheet. So very good, it's working perfect. Now the last point is how to create navigation form. So this is for your project. I would not recommend creating a navigation form that way. I prefer that to have main form, then moves to next form and so on, because navigation forms, they actually, some of those Epic as well as Cerner and other electronic health records, they use similar navigation forms like that one that we are gonna do right now. But for the sake of this assignment, let's just stick to the one that main form, and that is a navigation main form, and then every form separate, and the reports are separate, rather than having navigation form like the one that I'm gonna do right now. So let's go and do navigation form that is in the book. It says, I believe, go to horizontal tabs two levels. So it is asking us to select the first one where it says add. So we'll call this one forms. So as I click somewhere else, it's then queries, and then what we call, you can just click on the tab key and it will do the same thing. So then reports. So now I have the three categories. I will click on the forms, or I will select the forms category, and then they want us to select the form visits and invoices, and they want us to drag it and drop it here. And then the other one is form patient. They want us to drag it and drop it here. Alright, so now for the queries, they want us to select those queries and put them here, form queries. And then for reports, they want us to select visit invoices. And then they want us to select by item. Alright, so now let's activate this guy and see how it looks like. Alright, so this is the form, the other form, then the queries. For some reason it doesn't show, but the reports shows here. But you got the idea. Now this is kind of an example of navigation form that has two levels, horizontal, and so that was all that I wanted to cover for this one. But and then we will talk more next class.